Well, hello, a very good evening to you. How are you? Happy Wednesday. This is Hochanda. I'm Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's lovely to have your company. If you are a regular viewer of Hochanda, you will know that this is the Destination Hour. It's where we launch our fantastic one-day special every single day of the week. And our one-day special lasts for 24 hours. So we give you a fantastic saving for 24 hours. Sometimes they sell out and sometimes we have them on extended stock and sometimes we don't. So it's always best if you want something to get in there at the beginning, get it in your basket, get checked out, wait for it to be delivered and then start creating masterpieces. And of course with clarity, that's what you do, because those guys know what they're doing when it comes to a design or two. We have got some wonderful dies for you today. There's all sorts of lovely things on the show actually. We've got some stamps and we've got the lovely parchment items as well, groovy plates for you. But let's focus on our one-day special because these are wonderful dies. They are fresh cut dies. There's a clue there in the title. You get a wonderful cut from them. What I really like about these is the simplicity. It's about the design. So for a start, you haven't got much symmetry going on, and I always think that makes something more interesting if they're non-symmetrical. Personally, I think things can look a bit more expensive as well if they're non-symmetrical. But what I really like here is the silhouette. So clever, because when you've got something in silhouette, it makes you, I think, want to kind of look through the image. It makes you want to look to see what's behind the image, where the image is, and you kind of imagine, it's almost like you're imagining a beautiful meadow or something, and you've got the sun in the right position where all the flowers are in silhouette. That's what it does to me. But I think also when you've got a silhouette design as well, the design really comes through. It's really crisp, it's really clear, and you don't need a lot else. So you have got a wonderful collection of dies, which we'll talk about in just a second. You're also getting an amazing pad as well, which also we'll talk about this more as well. It's a 12 by 12, wonderful collection. You can see the designs on the bottom from that rainbow river. And I just want to say that if you look at pads like that and you think to yourself, well, okay, when am I ever going to use a big piece of 12 by 12? Don't think like that, because think about it like that. If you were to frame sections of those cards, that's what you get. That's really cool, isn't it? So you can see it looks like planets. But when you actually, it's like anything. It's like when people build a house and they have a field in front of them and they might have a tree and maybe a river down the corner if they're lucky. They think about where the window is going to be and then how that window frames that view. And if you just stand there looking at it all, you can't take it in. But if you frame certain elements, it becomes a beautiful picture. And that's what I'm saying. When you frame those papers, elements of them, they change every time. So that's the pad. Also as well, you've got this little booklet as well. This is fantastic because if ever you watch these shows and you think, well, when I get these dies home, I just don't know what I'm going to do with them. Well, this is going to give you inspiration and it's going to teach you exactly how to make wonderful cards. And these are all inspirations from the design team themselves. So a really brilliant little book to get in with our deal today, which is fantastic. Before I talk to Paul, which I will do in a second, let me just give you the price because I think people are going to want to jump on board straight away. So let's talk pricing, because great saving. We have got basically on these three dies a £10 saving. On these three dies a £10 saving. Put it all together and everything at the lowest price gives you a £29 saving. But actually, with the deal we've got today, it's even more of a saving. A £49 saving, so nearly £50 off the price, which is fantastic. So your pricing there is $69.92. You can of course put that into flexi buy, so you can divide that cost, and it is $34.96 today for the lot. $34.96, and that's it. Get it all home and start creating. Now, the lovely Paul is on the phone, I believe, waiting for us. Let's have a listen to what he has to say. Hello, lovely Paul.
Good evening, lovely Rachel. How are you?
I'm very well, Madonna. You've gone from just Paul to lovely Paul now, so you really have.
I've been promoted.
I'm going to call you Gorgeous Paul next. It's the Gorgeous Paul. So how are you? Are you having a lovely day? Has it been sunny where you've been? Because it's been glorious where I've been.
Yeah, it's been really nice and sunny, and I think these dies will really sort of showcase that, doesn't it? Sort of like the flowers coming up.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's a perfect one-day special.
It is.
Together with, you've got that beautiful Rainbow River 12 by 12 designer papers as well, and the II book. Now, the idea behind the II book is ideas and inspirations. And when we was putting this bundle together, As you said, you've got that sort of, it's showing that £29 saving, but when you take those two £10 savings from the dies as individually type of thing, it actually works out that £49 saving for 3 of those dies, it's £45.
Yeah.
So basically, you're getting 3 of those dies and a bit more free.
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy.
That is crazy, isn't it? When you look at it like that, yeah. When you look at the kind of bundle of its parts and 3 of them are for free, that is absolutely amazing value. They're so beautiful as well. Did you hear what I was saying about when something is in silhouette? It draws you. It's like the silhouette of a woman, I suppose. You sort of want to know more about that woman because you see a lovely shape and you want to know who that person is. And I feel it's the same with flowers, that you want to know more about the story. Do you know what I mean?
It is, that's right. And when you look at them, I mean, we're going down the counter now, and sort of, it's amazing how the designs can change depending on whether you just cut out of white card, out of black card, craft card, or you use some of the designer papers that's included in there.
Yes.
It can completely change the look of it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm holding up at the moment. I've just got the white and I've got the black. And to me, this is almost like different times of day. So this one is like, if you imagine that you're in the daytime and now the flowers are all in silhouette because the sunlight is so bright. And then when you turn it round and you see the white design, now I feel like we're sort of moonlight territory or something. So I think it really does have a different feeling about it, when you do it like that in black and white.
They do, and it just shows how quick and easy it is to be able to make a card. So if you're batch card making, like for party invites or wedding invites, things like that, you can get the pure elegance just by simply cutting out the die onto a card blank.
Yes, exactly. You don't need anything else, actually, do you? That would just be a lovely card as it is. But that's because of the design of the flowers as well. You know, the fact, as I've said, they're not particularly symmetrical, and I think also the sizing is perfect as well, Paul, because these are such lovely little cards to make as well. You don't need much else. It's a perfect size.
Exactly. So they're a 4-inch circle die.
Yeah.
And so just die cut onto a 5x5 card blank, as you're showing there. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And how quick and easy it is to sort of do something.
Yes.
And I also love about this, we've spoken before when we've had the dies on, about the snippability of these as well. In one of the demos coming up over the next 24 hours, I've actually taken the frame away.
Yeah.
So you can just use the flowers on their own.
Yes.
And then the reason we put the 12x12 in there was so that you can create luxury inserts in there. And Barb's going to show you how to do that in the first sort of VT we've got coming up.
Yeah.
But for me, we wanted to do something special because of what's going on and everything else, and everyone's at home crafting, and it's a beautiful collection that can be used throughout the year, regardless of what the flowers are, and have the beautiful rainbow river, 12 by papers as well. I mean, you've got 12 different designs in there, and you're going to get 4 sheets each, and double sided as well. So you've got the really vibrant side, and you've got the more softer tones as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wonderful collection. I think it works beautifully well together. As you say, the dies, you've got the colours, and then that little booklet as well to inspire people. I think it's a great collection and very special. So thank you very much, Paul, for putting it together. Thank you for talking to us today as well and taking time out of your day. Are you going to be doing the orders again? That's what you were doing last time when I was speaking to you.
I'm just putting up orders.
You're ready. You're ready and
that.
poised. Perfect. Well, we've got so many demonstrations to get in, so I shall bid you adieu. You get ready by that computer, start doing the orders because I think it's going to be a very busy one. And I will see you next time, my lovely.
Yeah. Okay, have a nice evening.
Will do, you too. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Oh, lovely man. Okay, so that's your lot as we're talking about those savings. A brilliant saving, and that's 371144 as an item number. Right, so Paul just mentioned there Barbara is going to be doing some crafting for us. She is indeed. In fact, she's going to be doing it right now.
Hi. I thought I'd just take you through the one-day special and explain why we've also included one of those glorious 12 by 12 papers. But if we just have a look at, first of all, look at the paper cuts, or look at the fresh cuts as we call them, and then you'll see. So for example here, if we look at this one and this one, you'll see we've got the chamomile there, and then we've got the cornflower. So the chamomile, the yellow, is what falls out. So when you look at it in white here, it's the black. This is the paper cut, you see. These dies, they don't have an outer cutting edge. So if I take this die and I lay it on there, you'll see exactly that's what gets cut out, you see. That's what you get. So these are absolutely just beautiful, designed by Mel Turner. Now if we go down to the cornflower, you'll see when we turn this over, you'll see, look, it just looks beautiful black on white, doesn't it? So this is the cornflower one. Then over here, for example, down here we've got the primrose, and when you flick it over, there's the periwinkle and friends. So again, very, very beautiful. And then when you come over here, we've got the daisy and friends, and then down here we've got the marigold. Now I thought I'd just run the marigold through the machine so you see how it works and how we're putting this together, and then I'll introduce you to the Rainbow River. So the way that this works, this is for somebody, let me just put these to one side. If you're not familiar with our paper cutting dies, I want to show you how they work, and I'm going to just take those to the side now, and let's just look at this one here, the Marigold and Friends. And what I want to do is just run that through a machine so you see exactly how it works. So we'll take our plate. Our dies are very, very top quality. These are also 6x6. These are our card blanks. We do them in black and in white and in a really nice craft card too. The dies are coated with a blue, and you'll see when you start to use them, you'll see that they don't. The card doesn't cling, it's top quality, it literally just falls out, you'll see now. So they work with most die machines, or I don't think I've found a die cutting machine that it hasn't worked on yet. Excuse the noise. I just thought it was, let's have a look what we've got here. So when we go back to the overhead, you'll see here, when I take this die off here, let me just take that off, and you'll see very, very quickly, very easily how you can, there's not a lot of fishing required. We'll just take a couple of pieces out. Maybe I'll use one of those, I've got one that's already open. There we go. You see, so these just fall out, these bits, like so. And you can see straight away you've got a beautiful, beautiful floral round. Just take that out of the way. Right, one of the things that I wanted to point out as well was, you know what I was saying about them, it comes out very easily. You'll see that there's not a lot of cleaning required. They come out very easily. And normally what we do is, of course, you know, we trap the scrap, don't we? We hang on to all these little bits. But just for the purpose of this demonstration, I just wanted to show you how simply and how quickly, this is for somebody who's new to our dies, how quickly and easily they clean. So the other thing, let's just pop that in the bin. The other thing that I wanted to flag up is that the dies, let me just leave it on there so you can see, black on black's not so easy to see, is it? One of the other things that I wanted to point out was that the outer edge, you see, it doesn't have a cutting edge. So you could put this on anything, and you know, any size, provided it goes through the machine, and it doesn't have a cutting edge. If you wanted to cut it out, then you would add, for example, you'd add one of our nested circles, and then you would just put that around the outside, and then that would cut out the whole piece. Otherwise, it is literally a paper cut, which I think is pretty special. So then as far as, let me just put that away. As far as this one goes now, all we're going to do is just fold that over, and I'll just, excuse my head for a minute, right, so now I've got that one, and I've got the other one. I just want to flick them round like so, so that you can see the contrast. So now we can see That's the Marigold, as you can see there. And then when we turn it over, there's that beautiful daisy and friends. So let's have a look. We've got all 6 of them now. And I'll just put these to one side. You see how lovely they are. Beautiful set of 6. Now what I wanted to do is explain why we've added our Rainbow River designer papers. And when you look at these designer papers, you'll see that there are 12 different papers, double-sided. So you've got a brighter colour, and then you've got a more muted tone-in-tone colour of the same one. So there are 12 different beautiful. The Rainbow River is one of the newer ones, and you'll see here it's quite bright on that side and vibrant, and then on that side it's muted. So we've got all these lovely colours. There are 12 designs. I love that one. 12 designs, 4 of each. So you'll see that you've got 48 sheets in one of these pads. This comes free with the one-day special. There are 48 sheets in one of these pads. There are actually 4 different ones. There's also Northern Lights, which is very beautiful. That was one of the original ones. Also fantastic colours available on the show. Then we've got Shenandoah, which was the one with all the landscapes, which is particularly lovely as well. So that's you know, it was difficult to choose which one to include. Then we've got Indian Summer. So these are the 4 in their entirety. You can see here, always the same, 12 different designs, double-sided, 12 by 12. Now let me explain why we decided to take a 12 by 12. If you'll have noticed, these are 6 by 6 inch aperture cards, aren't they? And so it looks nice, black on white, but let's, for example, let's just take this. Let's take one of these, right? Let's take, for example, where's that favourite one of mine, which I really like, the really bright one. You can see I've used it a lot because there's only, I can't even find it now. Let me see if I can find it, because it's definitely in here. I did see it. There it is. This one. I love this one. I did make these myself. I designed the original papers with alcohol ink. So let's take that one. And what you'll see is a 12 by 12. If you were to cut it in half, then you would get, let me just, I know this is a bit obvious, but you know what? Sometimes you have to see it to understand it. It's a 12 by 12. If I cut a 12 by 12 into 6 by 6, they are 6 by 12, sorry, like that. So I'll cut that along there like so. So now I've got 2 6 by 12s, haven't I? And then what I could do, let's just show you. If I fold it again, because it's paper, it's lovely quality, and you'll see when you fold it again along there, let's just do that. Right, so I've got 2 now, haven't I? What I want to do is, just because it's going to be an instant insert for the paper cut, I just want to trim a sliver off that side and a sliver off that side, only so that it's easier, it's just easier to use the insert in the 6 by 6 card. So if I take that now, let's just take this one. Right, I'll pop that down there. And what you'll see now, we've got 2. I've got one bright one, and then I've got one, look, double-sided, so it's deciding which one I want to use, right? Let's take one of our pictures. Let's just take any one you fancy. So I can go with the black, or I could go with the white. Let's see what happens when we introduce this in here. You see, now it starts to come to life. Or I can take this one, white, and I can add it like so. Now if I want it to be lighter or brighter, right, I can decide, perhaps I want it to be more muted, then I can fold it in that way, and I can turn it that way, and then it's not so bright, but you'll see then the insert is bright, but you see how it fits perfectly. So I like the bright side, so I'm going to say I'm going to go with that in there like so, right? White or black looks fantastic, doesn't it? And then the other thing is, what I can do also, you see, I can take my circular dies and I can cut out let's say, an edge like so. So I've taken, let's say I've taken one of those like that, and then I'll take another one. Here's a couple I did earlier, right? So then I'll take the other one and I'll cut a couple of rings out of it, you see, because the rings come out like so. And then I can add a ring around there. See how it brings it to life? Or maybe I'll use the white, I'll use that on the white one. That looks nice, like so. And then I'll bring that one round there, like so. You see how it completely transforms it now? And so what I'm doing here is I'm building a really beautiful die cut paper cut. Now, let me just show you a trick. It depends entirely where I put the glue runner, where it's going to open up. Now, if I want it to open up so that I can write my message or leave my message, then I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a glue runner, hang on, take a glue runner or a bit of 3mm tape, whichever you prefer, and I'm going to run it down the front of the card like so, okay? And then when I hold it in there like this, well, let me just get that in the right place. Excuse my head for a minute, right? If I, let's see if you can see it better now. See, I've got the glue runner there, and I'm going to hold it in place so that it just sits on that fold like that, and I'm going to make sure that it's all nicely cut, and then when I fold the front down like that, it will pick that up, and then when I open it, it will take, obviously it will take this with it. So that means I've got my card and the insert opens up, and then I can put my message in there. So when you look at the card now, it's very, very professional. Let me put a bit of white copy paper underneath it so that you can see it better. Let me just put a bit of white underneath it, then you can see it better, right? So there, I've got that open and it's in there perfectly. And then on this one, I'll do the same thing. I'll take white copy paper away, right? Except, so I could do that on there as well. See, the other thing I can do, if I prefer, is I can put the glue runner, let's say on this one, let me come in here. I can put the glue runner on the back inside cover. So if I pop it in there like so, right, then I'll decide, right, that's going to be nice and bright. So I'll pop that on there like that, right, there, that sits in there. Then I close that. So that means, let me just use my nail to score it. Right, so now if you look here, you'll see when it opens, you've got this loveliness so that the paper cut is a proper, it looks like a real, you know, I like that look too. You've got choices, haven't you? You either open it so that it opens like that, or you open it so that it opens like that. But either way, the reason that we've included this wonderful 12 by 12 craft paper, designer paper, in the one day special is that you've got your built-in inserts. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much.
We did, of course, Barbara. Thank you very much. I do think it's really good that they've put in this paper pad with these. And I think at first when you can look at this paper pad and you can see these washes and they're quite dramatic in this rainbow thing, rainbow sort of river thing, you can think to yourself, how's that going to go with those flowers? But it is amazing when you put those colours behind the flowers and you've got the silhouette working, you know, with those flowers and with the rainbow papers, rather. They just work together. It just adds a kind of drama to the image, I think, and it really makes you kind of look through the image. So it's really great that you've got that included. And of course, there's savings on everything, and all those savings combined are in effect, as Paul said, giving you 3 dies for free, because the price should be nearly £100. It's just under 70, and then it is like you're getting 3 of those die sets for free. So when you consider that you're getting 6 dies and the paper pad and the inspiration book as well, that's really, really fantastic value. And also the flowers are all very different. They're all very different. So let's show you some samples so you can just see. I showed you the black and white silhouettes before, but I actually want to show you some things that you can make with cards, because look at these. So just very, very different. But you know, when you're doing something like that, it's great. This is similar to what Barbara was just showing us there with that circular cut on the outside. If you want to create something like that as a card, That's absolutely lovely. Nice little rocker card there, like that. And then you're using the silhouette there. I think this is absolutely glorious in this frame because you've got, look at that, you see? Isn't that beautiful? It's just that silhouetted flower there, which is so clever. And then like that, and then not using the outer edge. And then this is beautiful. This is really clever because now we're only seeing a fraction of the silhouetted flowers, so it's like they're peeping up from behind something. If you want to do a little card like that, very, very simple in its effect. Yeah, and I'll read out some of the names for you as well. We've got they've just said, oh no, the glasses, don't worry, I've got them. So sad, honestly. You think one day you're gonna wake up and your sight's gonna be fine, and it's not, it just gets worse. No, it does. It gets worse. Listen, you're very young. It'll come to you. Right, so we've got D. There's D. D. Paranmore, yes. We've got Sheila as well. I've been seeing a lot of Sheila's cards, yes. I think that is a Sheila, yep. And this one is an Elaine Milner, beautiful card. I love the green. Have a guess what that is? Paul Church, yes. And another one by Paul as well. I love the simplicity of his cards, I have to say. Who was this circular one from? Because it was lovely. Oh, Sheila. Yeah, so that's a beautiful card. Really like that one. And then we had this one from Sheila as well. Special birthday, Mr. Church. Yeah. We've got Sheila. And this one was, I tell you what, Sheila's been busy. She has created some masterpieces. Dee Paramore. I sound like a quiz show host calling them down, don't I? Come and join us, Dee Paramore. And Sheila again. Beautiful cards, beautiful. Thank you very much to all of you for making these cards. Paul Church, great in its simplicity. And that lovely pink one, I will tell you who that one was with, because I think it's on the inside. That was D as well. So there you are. So perfect. Thank you very much for all those lovely examples. By the way, over 10% of our one-day special has gone. So a lot of people are liking it. Great saving. Should be nearly £100 down to £69.92. That is on flexible payments as well. So your first flexible payment is £34.96. 371144 with the savings. As we say, it's like you're getting 3 of those dies for free, which when you consider you're getting 6 dies and a paper pad and a little inspirational book, that's quite amazing to get 3 dies for free. That kind of feels like a lot more than, yeah, 10, 20, 30%, whatever it is. I can't do the maths, but that feels like a big chunk. 371144. Well, talking about Mr. Church, it's his turn now because he is now going to do a lovely demonstration for us.
Hi, I wanted to show you how to make this quick and easy easel card. But it's an easel card with a difference because I've done it with as a circle, and you can see here you've got real sort of nice dimension to it. And these Floral Friends are absolutely gorgeous for so many different occasions. So this is where we're heading. I've done it in different colorways, and instead of using just our normal nested circle dies, I thought just to give it a little bit more sort of elegance, I thought I would go with our Pico dies. Now we've got the Pico dies on the show as well, and we've also got a fantastic offer on those. So where do we start? First of all, what we need to do is create the shape of our easel card. So I've taken one of our white card blanks, and I'm going to bring in our Pico circle dies, and then what I'm going to do, just make sure I've got the right size because that's key. So it's the next one up. So I'm taking the second from the outer edge in, and all I'm doing is I'm positioning it. I folded the card, all of the cards are pre-scored, and I've just folded it and given it a nice crisp edge. And then all I'm going to do is just lay the die slightly over the edge of the card. Okay, then I'm going to take some low tack tape and just hold that in place, just to stop it moving when it goes through the machine. So we'll tape that down there and we'll run that through the machine. Now this is going through 2 layers of card. So just as a precaution, I'm not actually going to do it, just as a precaution, what I did, I ran it through, and then before I opened my sandwich, I ran it through again, just to make sure that it had cut through both pieces. And as you can see, where I went over the edge, we've got that nice crisp edge there, which gives us the shape of our card and keeps it intact. Okay, so that creates the hinge. So that's our card blank. Next, what I've done is I've used the same dies and I've pico cut a piece of our black card, just to sort of, great for your sort of matting and layering. Okay, then on top of that, what I'm now going to do, I'm going to use one of the dies. So I'm going to use the Marigold die, and I just want to show you what I've done on that one. So we'll bring in my cutting plates and pop that to one side there. And then I've got mine stored in my folder so I can see them. We've got the folders on the show as well. So cornflower, daisy, marigold. So I'm going to take my die, and I'm also going to take a piece of the beautiful, this is the Toscana Petite Toppers. And again, on the show, we've got a fantastic offer where you get all 6 of the different designs for the price of 4. So I can decide exactly where I'm going to pop that. And actually, I'm not going to cut it on that. I'm just looking at what I'm doing. Oh dear. I'm going to take a piece of white card, which is one of our card blanks, and I'm going to pop that on there, cutting side down. Then I'm going to take the die, which is the next size up from that, and position that around the outside. And I can tape that down so that it doesn't move around when we run it through the machine. So I will run this one through the machine just to show you what it gives you a really nice effect. If I bring the card in again while we're waiting for that to go through, you can see the design on this one is using the cornflower design, but I'm actually using the marigold. So this actual style of card will work with any of the different designs you're going to get in your collection. So carefully remove the low tack tape, lift off that, and now if I bring my little rubbish bin in, I've got to one side, tip that into there, pop that to one side, and then you'll see how easily just fall away. Like if I just tap, all bits just fall away from inside the design. So we've now got the lovely marigold design. So let's just pop this to one side again. Then what I did was I took a piece of this is where I took the Toscana Petite Toppers. I took that and I cut out a circle exactly the same size as my topper. Okay, so I'll bring that in to play now. So you can see now, when I pop that on top there, a little bit just there, pop that on there, it's exactly the same size, and it really sort of brings it to life now. So I'm going to take my wet glue, which is hiding behind me, and I'm going to go around the edge of my wet glue. So you can use a zig glue pen, you can use a quickie glue pen, you can use some PVA glue. You just want something that's just going to give you that little bit of flexibility to be able to move it around when you're lining it up. So I'm just putting the glue in all the key places where I want it to stick down. Okay, a couple on the leaves there. And then we'll turn that over. And I'm going to put the green, this area here, down to this side. So I'm going to line that up with the one underneath. So I get perfect positioning. Okay. So this is now creating my topper. So I'm going to do my usual trick, turning it over, and then I can really press from behind without catching anything. So we're just going to press that down, make sure that's stuck. So now we've got our beautiful marigolds with that beautiful Toscana just behind there. Okay, so that becomes our little topper. Then what I've done is we'll assemble the front of the card now. Now before I do that, what I've got to do is fold the card. So I'm just going to gently fold the card over, press it down, and then just run my finger. So I've now got the effect of my easel card. So if I hold it like that, or like that even, then you can see that's how the easel effect is created. Next, I'm going to take my black piece of card that I've already pre-cut, and what I'm going to do is I'm working on the back. So what that means is I can look at where I positioned it, so that when I run my tape across, because I only want to stick the bottom half of the card down. Okay, so then I can turn that over, line that up, and then press down. So now you can see, hopefully, there we go, you can see how I've now got that topper element. Now I'm going to take my topper that we've just created, and we'll just put some double-sided tape just on the back of that, and that's going to be stuck completely on there. So it just, for me, the little Pico dies just gives that little nice finishing touch. So I'm just going to press it from behind. Okay, so now we've got the base of our card, or the front of the card, and we hold that up. Okay, and now for the inside. So I've taken a piece of the Toscana card again, and I've just cut that out so I've got a nice panel on the inside. Quick and easy. That's one of the things I love about our particular dies, is that you can get really, really complicated, or you can just do, I mean, there's no complication in this really, it's just using your dies, especially your nested dies, to create the shape of the card, and then it's just perfect for your matting and layering. So I've cut another 2 small pieces out. So I'm going to pop another piece. This was cut from the scrap of the card that I took out from the larger circle. I'm going to pop that on there. And then what I'm going to do, in my previous card I used a stamp, but I'm going to use some of the sticker words we've got on the show. So we've got Barbara's collection, we've got a bundle where you can get all different ones in them. So you've got Barbara's collection, you've got the Clarity Christmas and Celebrations, and then you've got the collection from Leonie as well. I think we will go with, let's go with Magnificent. So I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to pop that in the middle-ish of my circle. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to curve it slightly, and I'm just going to put some glue just on the bottom half, because I don't want it to stick down completely flat. I'm going to pop that just there. So now, when we stand that up, that now holds that in place, and we've now got the beautiful card, and it folds flat, which is perfect for posting. So we'll compare both of them, 2 different designs, 2 different colorways, 2 different styles. So let's see if I can do a double hold up on this one. There we go. So you can see the difference between the 2. And for me, it's all about the magic of not only the dies, but the designer paper and card in the background. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
You are welcome, Paul. Thank you very much, and thank you to you. So lovely, lovely collection there of dies. If you want to grab hold of them, please do. It is the one-day special. However, also on our show, we've got some beautiful stamps for you, and there are 2 options here. So you can go for 3, or you can go for the second 3. Now, you also get a stencil with your stamp collection as well, and Barbara is going to be explaining all about how it works as a system in a few moments' time. But if you have a look, you can see that you've got this layering thing going on again. So you've got the sort of basic platform, and then you've got the one over the top, and then another one, which gives you that intense kind of finish, and you can use it to create your shading. I'll just show you some examples here as we go through. So if you want to use them all together, you can. You could use individual items as well, if that's the way you want to go. But you can go as simple or as dramatic, or as detailed as you want to, and they are wonderful little flowers. Again, of course, they are matching our fantastic dies over there, so you could be working with the two of them together if you wanted to, but they are wonderful things for your wonderful stamps for your projects, no matter how you want to use them, in terms of whether you're using them for artworks or whether you use them for cards or labels or gift tags. They are absolutely beautiful, and once again, when they are just simple and clean, they are beautifully designed, but when you want to add to them, add colour, add other things to them, they will work well as well for you. So let's have a look at set number 1 for you. So it's 121300. It's your chamomile, it's your cornflower, and your marigold. That is the 3, and as I say, you get your stencils to go with them as well, and it's a £10 saving for the lot. If you are a Freedom member, you get your free P&P, and it is £44.97, so you get a further discount there as well. If you're not in the Freedom Club, it's £49.97 plus your postage and packaging. Then we go on to set number 2, and you can see the daisy, you can see the periwinkle, and you can see the primrose, and those are the 3 there, with of course your stencils. Again, a £10 saving. Now what if you want all of them? Well, you can. £10 saving, £10 saving, carry it across, add a bit more in, another £10, and you're saving £30 there. So your price is now £89.94. £89.94 to get all of that there. 267056 is your item number if you would like to get the lot. And guess what? That is also on FlexiBuy for you as well, so you can divide that cost as always. It's not showing on the screen at the moment, but it is on FlexiBuy. You can grab everything today on the website hochanda.com. You can pick up the phone and give us a call as well. But we have got a demo from Barbara now, and she's going to show us exactly how they work together as a system. But just pay attention to the detail, because that is what you are getting for your money. Have a look at this.
Hi. Now I'd like to show you our 3-way overlay stamps from these beautiful florals with their friends. So I was going to take a look at Marigold and her friends and just show you how these 3 stamps work. I think they're amazing, and it's like screen printing at its absolute very best. If you have a look, you've got the outline, then you've got the number 2 stamp, which is the infill, and then you've got the number 3 stamp. So let me just show you exactly. If you see how they work, you'll begin to understand how they can play together. So I'm just going to take, for example, the outline stamp, and I'm going to ink it up with, let me just get some ink on there, with a VersaFine, and what we're going to do is just stamp that into place, right? So that one, let's go to this camera, and you can see that is the outline, perfect. So you've got the outline now, and we'll pop that to one side, and then let's go to the second stamp. So this one is the number 2 stamp. Now Marigold, I think they're yellow if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to take a Distress Oxide. I'm using mustard seed. And all I want to do now is just take my mustard seed, and I'm going to ink up. Let's just add a little bit of mustard seed to this one. Okay, just solid yellow, and then we'll see exactly where we're at. Now if we want to, there's quite a lot of yellow, we can take one of our spot-on sponges, and we can just spread out the ink a little so that it's not quite so extreme. Now let me show you this. I can take this, and this can work absolutely independently without using number 1 stamp at all. So for example, I can use this on its own as a completely different image. Isn't that beautiful? Right, so here what we're looking at is number 1 stamp, and then number 2 stamp. Now this one is in yellow, so you can see exactly that would sit in there perfectly. So what we'll do is, humour me here, I'm just going to take a little bit more of the yellow, and I'll just add a bit. Let's just take that yellow, and let's add a little bit more. And then what I'll do is, just to show you how you can set that over there, let's take another colour. Let's take Cracked Pistachio. You can use dye-based inks. I'm using these Distress Oxide. I particularly like the way that these work. Let's add a little bit of, see the thing is, if by using the spot on sponges I can get a little bit more exact about where I'm adding extra colour. So now I'm adding a little bit of greenery or cracked pistachio through the leaves there. So now I could go straight back over there, but I actually want to see, let me show you what happens if we're taking the same number 2 stamp, but this time let's blot it. Let's use it now like so with a mix of colours, so we're actually more painting with it now. Look, isn't that glorious? Right, so what you'll understand is now not solid yellow but a medley of colours. And now what I want to do, let's see if we can, so we're still using the number 2 stamp only. Now what I'm going to do now is a little bit of ink on there. Let me just take that black one out of the way. Where's my spritzer bottle? Right, I like this look. So what I want to do now is take my water, it's just water, and I'll just get it going. Right, and I'm just going to add a little bit of water, quite a lot actually. I never know when to stop. Right, and what we'll do is we'll go to the 3rd camera so you can see what I'm up to, and I'm going to come in really tight on here, and I'm hovering. Do you see? Let me just come in so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm hovering over the artwork, and as I get in closer I can see the line art, and then I'm going to come down like so, and I'm going to infill with the diluted yellow and green. Look, core. Isn't that lovely? So now check this out. So we've got the number 1 is the outline, the black, and now we've used the number 2 stamp. This works with every single one of these 6 glorious stamps, and we haven't even used the number 3 stamp yet, which is the outside. Everything that's white within that circle is on this stamp. So let's just put those to one side, and let's look at the 3rd stamp. By the way, as far as cleaning these stamps goes, this is really easy. All you want to do is just take a paper towel. I'm taking a leaf out of Leonie's book here. Just take not a paper towel, a cloth, all right? And then you just wipe, just rub, and it will get rid of all the ink and go right back to transparent again. There you go. So that one now, especially with sort of chalky oxides, because you'll find that they're quite opaque, and after a while you can't see the overlay. Having said that, if you use a stamp positioner, piece of cake, you just lay it down, flip it up, ink it, flip it back down again. Bingo. Right, so let's have a look at the 3rd stamp. Let's look at this one now. And this time what I want to do is take a couple of different blues. So let me just put the lid on that one, and let's take tumbled glass, and we'll just take some tumbled glass and we'll add tumbled glass. Let's just smear it over the whole thing. They are direct to the stamp like so. That's it. And then I'm going to take my spot on sponge, and I'm just going to distribute so it's not quite so blistery, because these are quite new ink pads. Very nice. But as I say, you can use the artistry inks to do this. I just particularly like that sort of mottled watercolour effect with these ones. Right, so I've done that, and then I'm going to take a darker ink pad. So that's my tumbled glass. Take that one out of the way, and now we'll use faded jeans, and I'll just add a little bit of depth around the base, just a little bit of a, we're using the stamp, if you like. This is the number 3 stamp now, the background stamp, and we're using it as a kind of a palette really. It's a mixing palette. We're blending our colours on the actual stamp. So still quite a lot of the tumbled glass in the centre. We can get quite dark around the bottom, look. Can we do that? Let's have a look how that looks. I reckon this will look good. Right, so there's a nice bit of blue in the middle, light blue. So we'll take that one out of the way for a minute. Let's have a look. And we'll go to this camera so you can see what I'm doing. And this is the third stamp now. This is the third this is just out of one set of the 6. So I just want to show you, this is the outside. Look at that. Whoa. Check this out. So this now is the third stamp. So that's the third one. That's the background. That's the second one, the infill. This is when we blended the colours and got yellows and greens. And that's when I used the second one over the top of the other one. And then I want to show you when you use all 3. Look, see, I've used all 3 now. I've used the number 3 stamp just to add a flash of blue in the background. I've blended, I've used, they look like red hot pokers now, don't they? So I've used red across the second stamp to add more colour to that. So you can go from really clean, crisp line art, mono colours or blends of colours, and that's all just using one set of the stamps. So imagine the hours of play that you've got with all the other stamps. I think that these are, hour for hour, pound for pound, some of the most delightful stamps. And of course, because of the designs illustrated by Mel Turner, they lend themselves beautifully to so many occasions. Flowers, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, get well soon, and it's all there for you. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.
We do, as always, enjoy your lovely demonstrations, Barbara. And I have to say, we're getting busier and busier. I think people are getting the concept, they're getting the ideas, they're getting the inspiration. Don't forget, you do get some fantastic inspiration in here. When you get these home, this is just as valuable, I think, as the rest of the kit. Because this is the design team who have told you how they've created their own projects. So it's just wonderful to be able to get the things home, because of course you get the papers behind the dies in here, and then you can create these masterpieces for yourself. So I think it's great to have that little inspirational book, and it's all ring bound, which means that you can keep it all nicely together. I do like it when you put a book on a counter and it lays flat like that, rather than sort of, you know, bin like that where you lose most of the writing. No, you can see everything. So it's a really clever little book, so it's fantastic to have that in with your kit today. As Paul was saying as well at the top of the show, when you look at the savings, it's a bit complicated how the savings work, because it's all about the original price, the lowest price we've done it at, the savings today. I mean, on those 2 die sets, the 2-3 die sets, you've got a £10 saving on each of them. Put it together and then you get your saving all together. But as Paul was saying, in effect, it's like you're getting 3 of those dies for free, which is absolutely incredible. Of course, you get your wonderful paper pad as well, which I will show you. These are all double-sided, and as Paul was pointing out, you've kind of got your more graphic images, and then you have got your softer muted images on there because they are double-sided. But these are absolutely fantastic to use as a silhouette. Now, you might look at things like that as well and think, how am I going to use that with flowers? But you see, when you look at a card that has got the colour behind it and the texture behind it, you can see how that works. And I was showing off the planets as well at the top of the show, and when you frame just elements of these wonderful papers, that's the kind of effect that you get. So it's great to have these anyway to work just in general with your crafting. You don't necessarily have to use them with the flowers, and that's a lovely, lovely paper pad. So you get that with your dies. It is 371144 if you would like to get the entire collection there. And I did say 10% gone. It's now 20% gone. Much attention at the end. 20% of our day special has gone. If you'd like to come on board, do it. Is 3714, 34 pounds and 96 pence a day, and 30.96 in a month's time. If you've missed this show, you'll be able to watch it on rewatch later. We are coming back in another hour's time with the show again, new illustrations for you and more for you to see. Let me just show those papers. You were saying just use them on their own, are fantastic. And when you use it as a background with They are absolutely wonderful. If you want to just go with plain cards and black and white silhouettes, or black silhouettes rather, you can. This is a lovely black and white silhouette. You can see as well that you can use the outer edge of the die or not if you don't want to. So you can ring bind it like that. You could cut it out and use it like that. You know, you could use it in a card as an easel card. I can't show you because obviously it's not standing, but you get the idea, like that. And then I love this one. I think that is so beautiful, how you've just got those little images coming through there. So 371144, your item number, $34.96 today, your first of 2 flexes. It's your one-day special, 20% gone. Make sure you come back in an hour's time to see more demonstrations with this collection.